We are live, sir.
You're alive, very well. It being 1:30 and this being June 13th, 2023, we are going to commence the proceedings before the special magistrate for code enforcement before the city of Palatka. By way of introduction, my name is Ron Brown. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Florida. And pursuant to state statute and city code, I've been appointed by the city commission of the city of Palatka to preside over today's proceedings. What we will have today is not a formal court proceeding. This is a proceeding that's governed by state statute and city code. And we are required not necessarily to follow the strict rules of evidence or the rules of civil procedures you may find in a courtroom. We are required, however, to follow the basic notions of due process and fairness, make sure that everyone has an opportunity to understand the charges that have been brought, an opportunity to hear those and to make any responses that they may have, any defenses they may have with regard to the allegations made by the city. The procedure is one where the city is going to be making a presentation regarding the ordinance they believe is violated and the facts that they have found that they claim will show that the violation has occurred. The respondent will have an opportunity to see all of that and to ask any questions, to make any statements, and to present any evidence and testimony that the respondent may have regarding the particular alleged violation. One of the requirements of the law, however, is that all the testimony must be substantial and competent. What that means is it's testimony that would cause a reasonable person to be able to reach a decision, based on what they have heard. And to do that, the law requires that all testimony be sworn. So I'm going to ask everyone who will be testifying today to please stand. And we have 2 members in the audience, 3 members in the audience. Are all of you going to be testifying today? All right, we have 5 staff members and 2 respondents. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And that the record show that all have answered in the affirmative. We take the cases in the order on the agenda, unless we have someone who has arrived and is present as a respondent. We take those in the order in which they have come in. That being the case, the first case will be case number 15, case number 2023-27, property at 1513 Cleveland Avenue. And this is shows the respondent being Patricia Webster. Patricia Webster here?
No, sir.
Should be 1513 Cleveland
That
Avenue.
should be Mercedes Cooper.
Mercedes Cooper?
Yes, sir.
Who is Patricia Webster?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay.
You-
So Mercedes Cooper. You're Ms. Cooper. Come on up. Stay at the microphone. And they're going Ms. Lowe's going to make the presentation. You'll be able to see all the evidence she has presented on the screens up here. And let her make her presentation. You'll get a chance to ask any questions you have, present any testimony evidence. And this is a violation alleged of, it looks like, section 30-169 of the city code regarding building fronts and sides of like streets or public areas, mold and mildew on the structure. What?
Yes, sir. This was first observed February 14th, 2023, case number 2023-027, 1513 Cleveland Avenue. The notice of hearing was sent May 3rd, 30th, 2023. We did receive the green card signed. It was posted complex in site on May 30th, 2023. And I did my final follow-up, one of my follow-ups on June 3rd.
And let me just double check one thing. It posted,
Yes, sir.
will we get the certified mail green card back?
Yes, sir.
And it was Cooper, did you get the green card? The certified mail?
Yes, sir.
You got it. All right. So you're here. Sometimes they will, in an abundance of caution, notice you by placing the post on there. Make sure you know. So you knew about it and you were here. All right. Keep proceeding.
Yes, sir. This is going to be one of the photographs. It's going to be 1A. 1513 Cleveland Avenue, section 30-169. It's going to show rotten and weakened wood.
Because there were two sections, 169, also,
Mold and
that
mildew.
was the other section regarding the lot, and we can,
The mold and mildew, yes, sir.
just for the record, the two sections the city is talking about. One is 30-169 subsection A, subsection B. Every such part of a structure visible from a public right of way or abutting a street should be made structurally sound. Rotten or weakened portions should be removed, repaired, or replaced in a manner compatible with the rest of the structure, which match the original materials and construction techniques. All exposed wood should be stained or painted. The other one had to do with subsection D of that same section. Mildew should be cleaned from buildings having street visibility. Loose wires such as TV cables should be secured. Not more than 10% of the buildings having street visibility may have mildew. All right. And this has to do with the wood, is that correct?
Yes, sir. This is the rotten weakened wood. This photo was taken on February 14th.
And as a predicate, did you take all of the photographs you're presenting today as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
And do the photographs accurately represent the condition of property on data which you took?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And the next photo is going to be photo 1B taken on.
Yeah, go back to that one. Can you see that from the street?
Yes, sir.
The street being
Cleveland Avenue. Yes, sir. This is the follow-up was taken June 12, 2023.
So specifically, what would need to be done to correct this issue?
Yes, sir. To complete the rotten weakened wood would just have to be removed, replaced, or repaired.
Down at the top of the windows?
Yes, sir. The windowsill and then the bottom part where the air conditioner has rotted the wood.
Is that entire sash wood?
Yes, sir.
So just the top and the bottom needs to be replaced?
On that, yes, sir. On that one. This is another photograph that was taken on February 14th of the rotten and weakened wood.
Is that actually wood?
They appear from the photographs of what I can see, they're like a wood panel.
Okay. It's not like asbestos shingles.
That's what I thought.
Well, I'll ask you, is that asbestos shingles?
I'm assuming those shingles because I bought the house as is, so I'm not sure. I'm still researching and
Because if it's asbestos
I think it's
shingles,
shingles.
you're gonna, I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's a real problem getting rid of those things. That's not a wood. All right.
Yes, sir. And this is the photograph of the follow-up that was taken on June 12th.
We're still looking at the eave of the house on the side.
Yes, sir.
Over the screen porch.
Yes, sir.
And so what needs to be replaced is just that one section where the surface is broken.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And right here, sir, is photograph taken on February 14th, 3A, right above the door. There's some rotten weakened wood.
So that's over the doorway overhang
Yes, sir.
and just the soffit or the front of that.
It's the front of the house has several little weak spots of rotten weakened wood.
Well, in that photo, what needs to be replaced?
The trim, wood trim work.
Just over the door.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's just another picture that was taken on June 12th.
That's a different location.
It's right there to the side of the door,
Okay, go back to the previous photograph. Which side? To the
right there to the right. Yes, sir.
The, over the door and the little overhang, and then to the right of that overhang.
Yes, sir.
And 3B, the right of the overhang. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And this photograph here is 4A. It was taken on February 14th. It just shows the mold and mildew around the windowsill and up to the above the windowsill. There's a little bit of mold and mildew. And the next one,
So let me ask you, we're now looking at 4B.
yes, sir.
So is the greenish material over the window at the edge of the roof on the side of the building and to the right of the window, correct?
That's correct.
Is that 10% of the side of the building?
She's, she has some of it already cleaned up, but on the other side, the next picture is the other part that shows the rest of the mold mildew. And this photograph here was February 14th, photograph 5A. It shows the mold and mildew. It's on the, it's like a wooden addition, and it's pretty much on the wood and then the wooden sill that turns around.
So with this mildew, it just needs to be pressure washed.
I believe pressure washing. will pick that up. And that's the updated picture on June 12th, 5B.
Can you see this on Cleveland Street?
Yes, sir.
That's it, sir.
That's all the photos, sir.
All right, so it appears that the violation of 3169 alleged is that you have to rotten wood on one window, the top and bottom of the window sash, on a doorway, the doorway overhang, the soffit or the front of that, to the right of that doorway. And then there's mildew on the side of the house, on the same side of the house as the window that needs repair. And then on the side of the screen porch. Okay. How much time is the city requesting?
Yes, sir. We for like 90 days.
90 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, Ms. Cooper?
Like I said, I bought the house as is, and, it done been pressure washed. She came out the second time. And I have some supplies, I have some paint, I have some wood. And it's just me, and I think I would need more than 90 days because I got to find some shingles. And like I said, I have the paint and I have wood. Now I need some shingles and to get somebody to fix the wood up under the air conditioner and then the trimming around the.
Would you try, how long has this complaint's been out there? They don't bring it to me until they try, the city has tried to negotiate or get some kind of response.
It started on February 14th.
So what have you done since February 28th?
Well, actually, I just been trying to get to work. I don't have a car. I'm trying to get to work the best way I can to get the money so that I can start on this house because I don't even have a car to get to work. I work in South Casino. So I'm doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best that I can. Like I said, I don't know. I started, but I got to find some shingles and I don't know how long that's gonna take. I got to look. And then I need somebody to fix it, so.
The issue generally, when it gets to me, is that the city's been trying to get some compliance and hasn't been successful. There are a lot of reasons why that might be true. And honestly, I don't have any jurisdiction other than to find out whether there's a violation or not. And if there is, to set a time frame which is reasonable to give a person a chance to repair it. Do you live in this house? Okay. That being the case, they want you to pressure wash it. And I don't know that you personally can fix those windows. You may be able to, I not know what your skills are, so I don't want to underestimate you by any means. But you probably have to hire somebody to do that.
I don't know that.
And it's an issue. The city does have legal authority to, require that you do it. Right now, what they're saying is they're going to give you 90 days. And this is basically a motivator to say, you need to get this done. And if you don't get it done within 90 days, the 91st day, what are you asking for in terms of the daily fine? So,
I believe it's, turns out to be 50 a day, 25 per violation.
there are two violations alleged. $25 a piece. Which means if you get the pressure washing done and you don't get the wood done, you go down to 25 a day. They don't want him. What they want is compliance. Well, just so you know what will happen, if that fine accrues, it's not paid. If work isn't done, it's not paid. The law allows the city to levy a lien against your property. And they could foreclose it.
Wow.
So it's got some bite. And a lot of cities and counties are going through the same issue, trying to get some kind of compliance with the code enforcement. So it is a fairly serious thing to consider. It's not just if you don't do it, nothing happens. Something can happen. I'm not saying it will.
She explained it to me.
Well,
Briefly.
90 days is pretty reasonable time.
Okay.
And you got anything else you'd like to say about it? I mean, do you have any questions about what needs to be done or what's going on? I mean, the city's entitled to, their order with finding violations and requiring compliance. And based on the evidence I've seen, we find that there is a violation of section 169 subsection B regarding the weakened wood over the top and bottom of the one window on the side of the house, the area over the front door and the soffit to the right of the front door, and then the pressure washing that's required on the side of the house and on the side of the porch, which is fairly straightforward. If you reach.
Well, I can do, I'm saying like the shingle part, I'm gonna have a hard, like you said, about finding it, but so as the paint, I'ma just paint it. It's been pressure washed, so I'ma just paint it, I'm replace some of the wood around the trim and paint the whole house, gonna get painted. I have paint to paint the whole
Now,
house.
this isn't evidence here, but I'm gonna tell you something, is it tells the city the same thing. If you find out those are, one of this house bill should be on the property appraisers. They know. I hope those are not asbestos shingles.
Anything else?
Oh, you now have an environmental issue you're trying to get rid of. You just can't take them to the dump. Then that's something you need to check on. You'll know if you can find it. They may be wood, but it's something you can check on. Right now, the evidence before us is their wood. We're going with that. Does this require a permit? These repairs?
No,
So they can repair this window sash without a permit?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Well, believing isn't the next question.
The-
Do they need a permit?
Actual year built is 1955, and then listed an effective year built 1974, sir.
Might be okay. They do or do not need a permit?
I don't
Bring this
believe, no,
work.
no, sir, they don't need a permit just to replace that little bit of wood. It's
Okay.
not a major
Okay.
construction.
So you don't have any time frames for permit, you just need to go and get the work done. Is there, and when you get it done, you need to make sure you keep Ms. Lowe in the loop and let her know when it's done. If you're having trouble, make sure you keep her in the loop so she knows that you're having trouble. But you don't want to show up back here, having to fight off a lien.
No.
And one of the questions I'm gonna have you is, what kind of effort did you make to get this done? Okay? All right, you're gonna get an order in the mail at the address, which is the 1513 Cleveland, right? That's your mailing address, right? Okay, you'll get an order in the mail, come out in a couple of days. But you've got 90 days from today. What's the deadline date on that?
September 11th, sir.
Weekend or holiday.
Correct, it's a Monday.
All right, very good. All right, September 12th.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience with all this. For what it's worth to you, you need to keep in mind that the city, as you may have heard, has a very strong policy now about addressing blight in the neighborhood. So anything that looks like it might be going down that road, I'm not saying your house is blighted, but they're trying to prove everything. The other thing that can happen is people can complain to the city.
That's what happened.
And I wish I could tell you that's going to go away. The good news is the legislature a couple of years ago made it a requirement that there be no more anonymous complaints. So Any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, do we have any other respondents present?
This gentleman here, what property you responding to?
Green Street. Green Street,
Yes, sir.
number 4. 1606. 1606 Green,
That's me.
Christine, Christine.
She passed away.
Christine Knowles and Boyd B. Knowles, that would you are on Boyd B. Knowles. Thank you. And I believe you took the oath and, that's correct, very good. All right, Mr. Green, this your case?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I think you heard the preliminary commentary concerning how we're going to operate this. Green's going to make a presentation for the and the city believes there's a violation. It looks like they have 2 violations, 30-32A of the code, prohibited conditions in public nuisances, roofing and disrepair, and 30-169, building fronts and sides of like streets or public areas, lot and region wood that can be moved from public right of way. Public right of way, front of the building is on 1606 Green.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that a corner lot?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, and the copies and of the ordinances under consideration are in the record. Mr. Green, please proceed.
Yes, sir. It's about first on 4/11/2023. The notice of hearing was sent out 5:30. Complex posting was 6:03, and the site posting was 5:30.
Did you send him a certified letter?
Yes, sir.
And you did sign it?
Yes, sir.
When did I sign that? Looks like it was on 6/6/28.
Yes, sir. Don't want to sign it here.
When? You know, it looks like it might be Hoyt.
Yeah, it was me, but
It says Hoyt Noble on the green board.
yeah, that's me.
And 300 Paradise.
Yeah, 6. Okay, I thought you said 3/6.
No.
I didn't know nothing about that. No.
Okay. Okay, no, 3/6. I went out and, you know, the postal service in the back with a fee. And
Yeah, well, I know that, but I thought he said 3/6. I was all confused. No,
The command address is the 300 Paradise Circle, Satsuma, 3218. Very good, thank you. All right, please proceed.
I can go to the pictures now.
And did you take all these photographs you're presenting today?
Yes, sir.
And do they accurately represent the condition of the property on the day which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
This is 4/11/23 showing the rotten weakened wood.
Is that rotten or burned?
It's rotten.
Okay. How about that? Go back to that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can see this from Green Street?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is that whole side of the building
Yes, sir. Most of it.
failing?
Yes, sir.
That's the same picture. Okay, one at a time. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's 6/6/2023 1B. That was taken on 6/6/2023. You back up?
What's the difference? One's darker than the other?
Yeah,
one's that one.
Yes, sir.
in the shade. Okay.
Yes, sir. And now when I was a little higher, away from the berm, that way I could, you know, you could
Well,
tell.
that looks more structurally sound.
You could tell different days.
The city doesn't have an issue with the soundness of the structure. They just need to have these wood panels replaced.
Yes, sir.
How many of them need to be replaced?
Many of them that have the rotten and weakened wood, all of them, sir. That have the rotten and weakened wood
All
repaired.
of them?
Yes, sir. The ones that have the rotten or weakened wood, they need to be repaired or replaced.
Well, which ones are there? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them with mold on from the bottom up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And all of those are rotten?
Yes, sir.
How do you know?
See them?
Okay.
This is on the other side of one, well, it's more rotten than weakened wood is.
So this is the other side of the house?
Other side of one,
The window. Okay. Other side, same side of the house, other side of the window.
yes, sir.
Where were you standing when you took this photograph?
On the sidewalk.
On Green Street?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Get back up, back up. What needs to be done in that photograph?
Repair, replace the rotten and weakened wood.
Okay. I mean, right now, the evidence you presented goes to the top of the photograph. Right?
Yes, sir.
So does he have to fix any wood above where the top of this photograph is?
Wherever the rotten weeping wood is, sir.
Well, you know, you gotta tell me where that is. He needs to know exactly what he needs to.
On the side of the, on the other side of the window by the chimney, you have, 4, 5, 6 panels of rotten weeping wood.
Okay. But not above the top of where the photograph.
That's another picture of it, I guess a little brighter.
This is just another picture of
This
the
is
previous
3D.
photograph,
This is-
2A.
And this is the roofing and disrepair, where you have vegetation growing on top of the roof. This is taken for 11/2022.
So what's the disrepair here?
Most time when vegetation growing on top of a roof or something like that, sir, it's got some disrepair or something going on under the vegetation.
So the city code says if there's vegetation growing on your roof, if your roof is otherwise sound, that's a violation.
Yes, sir. Most times if you got vegetation growing on top of the roof,
You see where I'm coming from.
yes, sir.
So all you have to do is clear that vegetation off this roof.
Yes, sir.
That's all I gotta do to the roof. One time, okay. All right, next.
That's, this is 3B, taken 6/7/2023, more, that's the same picture of vegetation on top of the roof. And that's more vegetation on top of the roof. This is, in front of the house, taken 4/11/2023. That's the left corner of the porch, I think.
So right now, the only evidence the city has is that you use vegetation on the roof.
Yes, sir. And this is 4B 6/6/2023.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
Right. Any of this work require building permit?
If the roof's not damaged under that vegetation, no, sir.
Well, right now, the only violation is moving the vegetation.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't require a permit.
No, sir.
What about the wood, the pipe around that window?
No, sir. But he may want to check with the county building department before you do.
Well, again, he needs to know.
Yes, sir.
So that's a part of the
Yes, sir.
timeframe. So do we know?
Oh, right now, the work that look like needs to be done right now, don't need a permit. But then once he starts cleaning up and repairing that, he might. But right now, if he fix everything that we asked him to fix, we're not asking him to get a permit to fix it.
How much time are you requesting?
90 days.
So to prepare the wood, back to the wood.
What you looking?
Aaron, can you go back to the wood? dig?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The first
He's
inspection.
got planks, so those planks are like, that's the side of the house and where the arrow is pointing.
Yes, sir.
Again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 planks.
Mhm. And this
On
is,
the other side, you've got. Go to the other side now. Roll.
yes, sir.
How
This
many
is a
on that
lighter
side?
picture.
Like 7 or 8.
Well, 7 or 8 isn't the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, look like 10 on that. Seems right, to make sure he has a clear picture of what compliance is.
Yes, sir.
You're asking for 90 days,
Yes, sir.
and there are 2 violations. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You're asking for how many days and dollars per fine for violation?
Oh, it's $25 per fine.
All right. Mr. Knowles, the city is saying you got some white wood in your house and you got some vegetation on your roof. Ain't no arguing with me. Okay. I hope you understand, my job is to create a good record here, to make sure.
I'm not arguing with anything on there.
Can you get this fixed within 90 days?
No, I can't. What I would like to do is, I agree, the thing you said, so I did move the yard.
Yeah.
And you said that too, you said I didn't.
Yes, yes.
I talked about that.
That's why I'm not on this, sir.
Yeah, okay, but on that, but, what I would like to have is a year, not to fix anything. To sell it or destroy it.
Yeah, generally, they're not gonna go along with that. And, right now,
Well, see,
there's no question there's a violation.
There's no question. So was the house next to me, not the house itself, but the damn pig in the yard. It looked as bad, if not worse than that, the yard next door to it. The other one looked just as bad, the yard, not the house was in there shape. But I mean, hard for me to see the difference when all of them look like crap.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to take the time and get rid of it and sell
Well, I don't know how long it would take to sell it.
it. I don't know. Gotta find the right person. And as hot as it is right now, I'm not gonna be able to get anybody to go out there and fix it. Just, you can't have, I'm the cabin shop and it's hard to get people to work right now.
Unfortunately, the way this works, the city's entitled to
Well, I
a
understand.
violation. They're entitled to set a fine. $25 a day is a pretty low fine. It can go to $250 there per violation. And they don't do that here because, like I said, they really don't want the money. They want compliance with the issue. I mean, why can't you get it done within 90 days?
If I could find somebody to help me, but I cannot even, my legs are starting to hurt right now just standing. I do not stand very well. But I mean, I probably can get somebody to clean up the roof without any problem with the wood I might. But it's gonna be hard to find somebody to work in the daytime, right? That should have been done in the winter time.
I don't know how to respond. 90 days is a pretty liberal amount of time.
But see, what I would like to do is sell
Well, I understand
it.
that.
And I don't think
You
I
can
can
sell within 90 days, we're power to you, but,
Right, but I can't sell it to somebody you give me within 90. I'm asking now, I'm not saying. If I sell it to somebody and they don't have it done within 90 days, are they gonna be fined? You see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can sell it and have them clean it off and not, then them not get fined. That's what I'm looking out for.
Mr. Brown, can I speak?
sure.
In that situation now, we do have what they call a lien reduction, process in place. The person that buys your house, if they do a lot of repairs in a reasonable time of when they buy it, let me finish. Then they can apply for a lien reduction and we would kind of give them a favorable decision and decreasing the fine that will accumulate it by the time if we hadn't sold it in the neighborhood. So if we have things in place that help those situations, unfortunately, the city cannot give you a year to fix something when we are trying, we got so many properties, probably the properties you was complaining about just a few minutes ago.
I'm thinking about.
Well, I'm just saying, they probably on our list too, it's just they're not on this hearing, this document this month. So we are trying to work with you and I will do this, the best I can do now, give you another 30, so they give you 120 days to work on that. I'm the department, code enforcement director, so I can give you 120 the best I can on that. That's the best I can go with staying in line with what the city's SOP and standards are.
And it was what I could do. I appreciate that.
All right, anything else? I'm gonna go ahead and find those violations, section 30-32A, prohibited condition of public nuisance due to the roofing disrepair, the remedy for which is to remove the vegetation growing on the roof. A violation of 30-169 of the city code regarding building fronts and sides of letting streets or public areas, in other words, part of the building that can be seen from Green Street. With lighting weakened wood on both sides of the window on the left side of the house as you're looking at it from Green Street. Respondent will have 120 days to effect the necessary remedies. In the event of non-compliance, fine of $25 a day per violation will accrue on the 121st day. Ms. Hughes, do you have a date for that?
The compliance date would need to be Wednesday, October 11th.
And keep the city informed what your progress is on this. Because if the lien goes in, before the house is sold, that lien would have to be paid.
Mhm.
property's not gonna close at the time. We'll try that. Okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
I will get that letter in the mail.
Yes, you will.
It will be certified.
Yes, it will.
Hey,
Yes,
could you, never mind, I'll just be out there. No, it's just, I work in town and, that's them and then post office is closed. I made work last time. Okay.
Very good last night, so you're good.
All
All
right.
right, do we have any other respondents, brother? One more, please come forward.
what address, sir?
Any assistance?
A couple
You'll be able to stand?
I do my best.
Well, you want to sit.
No, I'm standing.
Okay. We'll try to help you. What are your names, sir?
My name is Kenneth Michael Gonzalez,
And which property?
501 Curve Street, sir.
Very good.
Already complied with some of these items. I have proof on my cell phone show, tax.
So we have Kenneth Gonzalez,
Yes, my son's currently serving on the aircraft carrier, Arias Truman.
Greg Michael,
Craig Michael, it should be, they may know.
that's you?
No, I'm Kenneth Michael.
You're Ken, okay.
That's Craig Michael, my son in the Navy.
You and your
Currently,
family property
one-
together. That's you. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, all the testimony we hear today has to be sworn. You heard you want to get for me? You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Right. I don't think you were here when we had the preliminary
No, sir.
comments. This isn't a formal court of law. We're not required to follow formal rules of evidence or civil procedure, but we are required to follow basic notions of due process and fairness. So we're going to make sure you have a chance to hear everything that's being said and the allegations made by the city. You'll have a chance to present any evidence you have and make any responses you have.
Yes, sir. I have some, evidence I comply with some of these things prior to even coming here.
All right. What, this is Ms. Love's case. That's what goes first.
Yes,
Just present what it is. Ms. Love, let me inquire. Did you, Mr. Giles, did you get a letter or your son get a letter?
I recently got one. I got everything I got right here.
All right, let me double check something.
I've got the letter right here, the certified letter.
Yeah.
Right here, sir.
Okay, you have that, so? All right, very good. So we have both of them. We are noticed and you are too. All right, Ms. Love, go ahead and tell us what this is about. Let me briefly say that this is a case that involves it's like allegations of 5 code provisions. First one being 94-193, parking or storage of unlicensed vehicles and commercial vehicles in residential zones. Boat parking residential yards. 30-32A of city code, excuse me, prohibited conditions in public nuisances, overgrown grass and debris. 30-169, building fronts and sides of abutting streets and public areas, mold and mildew on those sides. Also 30-169, building fronts and sides of abutting streets and public areas, rotten and weakened wood. And 30-171, broken windows. We have 5 different allegations. He's going to present the violations and show some photographs in support. Ms. Love?
Yes, sir. This is case number 2023-068, 501 Kirby Street, Blackman, Florida. This was first observed April 4th, 2023 of this year. Notice for this hearing was sent on June 5th, 2023. We did receive the green card. It was complex posting on June 3rd, 2023, and site posting was June 5th, 2023.
Did you take all the photographs you're about to present as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did the accurately represent the condition of the property on which you took them?
Yes, sir.
You proceed.
Yes, sir. This one was taken on April 4th, 2023. It shows some rotten and weakened wood where the arrows are pointed.
Right, specifically looking at the bottom of a window sash.
On the top, on the second floor. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry,
On the second floor.
you got arrows pointing on to the window sash. The window sash
Right
on
on
the
the
bottom.
the bottom of the windowsill, right up underneath the windowsill. And then there's a strip of wood that goes up into it like a V. It's on that side that's rotten and weakened.
So the windowsill looks like one plank under the windowsill.
It's
And
one
then-
and 1.5 because the roof goes up a little bit.
And then, what is that, the side of the roof? What is that going up on the diagonal?
That
That's,
part of the house that projects out that way, but it's under the roof.
So what needs to be done on that diagonal?
if he could just replace or repair the rotten weakened wood, sir.
And that's not structural, is it?
No, sir.
Well, my point is that would require a permit.
Yes, sir.
It would not require a permit, correct?
Correct.
All right, next.
This one here was taken on June 12th. You can kind of see a little bit more where the roof goes up. So it's really only like 1.5. And then the wood that goes up into the A shape.
All right.
Yes, sir. This is photograph 2A, rotten and weakened wood. It's, facing the road where you can see the banner is missing.
This
Wood
is
pieces.
taken from Kirby Street.
Yes, sir.
This house is on a corner.
Yes, sir.
What's the other street?
Kirkland.
Kirkland?
Yes, sir. This banner here faces, Kirby Street. It has just missing pieces of the rotten and weakened wood.
So looking at the balustrade around the balcony,
Yes, sir.
how much of it needs to be replaced?
Looking at the balcony, the whole bottom piece where the one arrow is pointing down and then where the railings are missing. So it's, almost 80% of the balcony needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
And this here is just 2B. I just gave you an up close of the same balcony of where the missing structure is and then the rotten weakened wood on the bottom part.
So when they replace this balcony, this might be something, is this in a historic district?
Correct, sir.
I'm betting you can't find those balustrades off the shelf anywhere. What's going to be required what can you replace them with?
I would have to get with Ms. Walsh and see if I could give some further instruction on what he can actually
That's
replace.
the part the architecture review would have to take a look at. This wall sheet fits one.
Yes, sir, the historic preservation committee would have to look at it as far as replacements.
Like I said, I doubt those are available unless they're handmade. All right,
That's. And this picture was taken on April 4th, sir, but if we could just pass that part has been cleaned.
that's been cleaned.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, that should have been removed. This picture here, just shows a little bit more of the rotten weakened wood. It was taken on June 12th, 2023.
This is 3B.
Yes, sir.
So is this different from the other photos?
When you go back, it's right above on the other photo. And I just didn't go back
But it's
and,
a separate location.
yeah, well, yes, sir.
What needs to be done, just replace the wood along the very narrow front of
Yes,
the
sir.
roof?
And this one here is 4A, April 4th, 2023. It has some broken and missing windows on the side of the house. From the roadway, it looks like possibly 3 windows are either broken or missing on that side of the house.
The 3 windows or 3 panes?
It could be panes,
I'm looking at the the arrow coming in from the left and one, from the
Correct.
left, we're coming from the bottom.
that one I couldn't see,
That
I
one-
couldn't see a window pane at all.
I'm sorry,
I couldn't see a window pane at all in that one.
that one. And then there's an arrow going to a more narrow window
Yes, sir.
and there's no window pane
I
there.
couldn't see one in that
The
one.
bathroom one didn't really want to be
What's the violation?
Missing windows.
there. There we go. I object to that one. That's a bathroom, that one goes up and down. I don't hear that one, sir.
What I'm getting at, they have a duty under the law to have personal knowledge of the violation. So she needs to be able to tell me there's missing, her personal knowledge.
That's incorrect.
The few times that I went there, I did not see no window.
It's up.
No window pane?
No, I didn't see a window pane.
The left one, the next window up.
Okay, we're free to record, you'll get your chance. I want to hear what she says, and then you can answer. All right, next.
And this is another one where I couldn't see a window pane.
Okay, fine. Make sure you can see it. That personal knowledge. Okay, next.
And
You're all.
This one here, was taken on April 4, 2023, 5A, overgrown grass.
So what's the standard for overgrown grass?
18 inches,
Is that 18 inches?
that's more than 18 inches,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry,
more than 18 inches.
how do you know?
By experience. Now, we can't go back out. We can't go back and put a rule out there, but
Already cut, so it's not an issue.
more pitch where it was already cut, so then we
Already
want
cut, so not an issue.
You might measure?
to measure by standing in it. But we didn't take a picture. We didn't get a picture, so we definitely can do that for future reference.
So in that photo, the only thing is the grass needs to be mowed to no higher than 18 inches.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
And this is a photograph that was taken yesterday, June 12, 2023, when I did my follow-up. It just shows the overgrown grass.
That's an area where the sewer line was dug up and everything, new grass there.
So what exactly needs to be done?
Just needs to mow and trim.
No higher than 18 inches.
Correct.
I presume those ornamental bushes can be higher than 18 inches. Is that
Yes,
correct?
If it's a plant material.
You know, the punching 4, 6, 8, 10.
Is there an architectural standard for vegetation in this city?
Don't know, sir.
There are places where there are architectural standards for
On coast.
vegetation you can plant in an HB district. This isn't one of them. All right, this is 6A.
Yes, sir. 6A, taken on April 4, 2023, overgrown. It's the bushes are growing into the property along the residence.
They're growing where now?
They're growing up along the house and into the structure. The wood trim.
So the city code wouldn't let you grow ivy on the side of the house?
It's part of it's part of the palmetto bush. It's like a vine. It's,
So you're looking at the palmetto bush.
yeah, well, right above that, those are all vines that are growing up into the residence.
Let them go right back.
Yeah, so you can't have ornamental vines on your house?
I didn't believe that's an ornamental vine. It's more like a weed.
I see, I'm getting that.
No, I see where you're getting at.
So what needs to be done to the palmetto?
Just trim down and remove
Prevent trim.
the dead vines.
Next, that's it.
Yes, sir. This is just another closed up picture. It was taken on June 12, 2023, 6B.
So what does he need to do to correct
Just,
that?
yes, sir. If you could just trim and remove those vines.
You get the vines off the house, but what about the tree?
The tree, just trim the limbs.
To how close do they have to trim?
I would say at least 2 foot down.
I just look what the code requires.
Put down to be a stub with fingers.
No, 2 foot down.
You can't put it down.
I just want to make sure when we leave here today, you understand exactly what they want you to do.
Yes, sir.
So that tree, you just need to get it off the house? What do you
Yes,
need?
sir, because it's right there, it's growing up into the wood part at the very top. I would say at least 2 foot, and that would take it off the roof.
Anything else?
We have,
Vote.
yes, sir, the vote would be 7A, taken on April 4, 2023. It's visible from the roadway in the historical site.
So there's a lot of folks like.
So if he just keeps it being visible, it'll be fine.
So,
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
he would get a chance to give his testimony.
Oh, yeah.
Will you please let my officer do her testimony, sir? Good, thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Before we got, just for summary, sure I've got it. Let's vote for the city violate 94-193 That section says automotive vehicles or trailers without current license plate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir.
Section 192, excuse me, 193? What is it?
What's the code, Chris?
94-192.
Okay. In the agenda, I've got a violation of 94-193. 94-193 is included in the packet,
In the packet.
right?
You're correct. That is my error.
I'm sorry.
That's an error on my part.
So what is the violation?
Basically, the boat just needs to be removed into the
What
backyard.
statute,
There's no backyard lady.
This
Sir, sir,
guys,
sir.
guys, here's the thing. We're running a meeting, it's got a record is subject to appeal to circuit court. We're gonna have a clean meeting. They have, how we're gonna do it, and now I'm asking her a question, you get plenty of chance. I'm trying to get to them, that you're all on the same page.
Correct.
The 193 talks about automotive vehicles or trailers,
Correct.
this is a boat.
And it is a boat.
So is it the trailer or the boat?
Well, the boat can't be parked visible from the roadway in the historic
What
section.
is the code?
Which code is that?
This one here, I'm sorry, I just wish I had 94-192 is what I have in my photo, so I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't have that.
Chrissy, I'm pulling up muni code for
I'm
you
sorry.
now.
Thank
No, it's
you.
okay.
Is the trailer license, can you see it?
Yeah, I couldn't see, sir.
So which,
Apologize.
which would you like me to pull up from?
Well, what was he noticed there? When you sent the notice to him,
Yes, sir.
which ordinance did you notice?
94-193, sir.
So he was not noticed on 92,
Correct.
we're not gonna listen to them. Okay, you didn't get noticed of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're not gonna hear that one. 94-193 is off. So back to 32-32A, prohibited condition for use of overgrown grass and debris. What I'm hearing is it basically needs to trim the yard, trim the palmetto bush, get the vines off the side of the house.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Get the vines off the side of the house. And trim that one tree that's not touching the house.
That's correct.
On 3169, building 25 Buddy Street, mold and mildew, that just needs pressure washing.
Yes, sir.
That's already been taken care of,
The majority of it, yes, sir.
okay? So you need to fish the rest of it.
Yes, sir.
Building fronts inside the Buddy Streets, rotten or weakened wood. You have one window, is that correct?
The,
Is that window sash and plank and a half under the window.
and yes, sir, the banners, yes, sir.
And then 30-171, looks like you had 3 broken windows. Right.
Yes, sir.
How much time are you requesting? For compliance?
I believe it's 90,
I believe it was 90 days, yes, sir.
That would be,
September 11th, sir.
and how much is that? Per day, per violation, per fine, is even a non-compliance?
Yes, sir.
How much?
Sorry, I believe it was 125.
25?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we summarized what they say is happening. Your turn. Please,
First of all,
thank you for your patience.
There is no backyard. My backyard sits on the area from here. Here, you're not gonna get that over there. The width of the area between the fence and the house is from here to here. You're gonna go.
That's relevant to,
So moving into the backyard, where's that? It's my backyard.
we talking about the boat?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're not even talking about the boat anymore, because they didn't notice you about the boat. They want to talk about the boat.
Well, they mentioned it in here. Okay, so I'm addressing that here
And
now.
I'm telling you,
On to the next, sir.
yeah. Pays to listen to them. because I was giving you a break.
Yes, sir.
And that I found that they did not notice you for that violation by giving you notice of the correct ordinance. So we're not going to consider that today.
Yes, sir.
I will tell you that they could come back later on and present it to you. I don't know where you can put the vote. But, and this is, again, this is important. Does 192 prohibit the presence of a boat on the property?
Doesn't, no, you can have the boat, it just can't be seen visible from the roadway.
And it's in a residential area.
Correct.
If it weren't residential, there was another ordinance. That's what the ordinance says. Again, that's not in front of you today, but it could be, they could bring it back.
And what about all the other boats in the neighborhood, sir?
Sorry.
What about all the other boats in the neighborhood, sir?
And you know, that's the argument we hear a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you'd like to file a complaint.
Oh, I would. I'm a fighter.
Mr. Clerk would be glad to take that.
Okay, let's settle the match.
But they will, you know, all I can look at the violation that's in front. Okay, and normally the city doesn't go out and look for these, but they have a policy now, and the city commission has decided they want to address blight issues in the city. So they're being proactive. You said that. I'll look at the case, one case at a time, and see what it is. As of today, there's not going to be a violation about a vote because they didn't notice you. There could be one in the future. So you need to take a look at this issue of what that is. And if you want to file a complaint
I
about
think
people
that's
in
what-
post and residential property, you're entitled to do that. But that's not our issue today. What about the, just getting the vegetation under control? Is that an issue with you? Sorry, is there,
You can start
question
there.
whether there's some vegetation needs to be trimmed and maintained?
No, I'm not, I'll just change it, rip it out, no problem.
Sorry?
I'll put a change to it, rip it all out. I don't have to worry about it. no more.
Well, that's up to you.
All I just want to do, I can't be
I'm just saying.
running back and forth playing these games.
Yeah, I appreciate, you know, your circumstance, appreciate your response, but the only thing the code says is you need to trim it, keep it down.
Well,
below
ground level
18
trim,
and
sir.
maintain it. That's all they're asking to be done. So if you want to take it all out, but I don't know that you have to have a lawn. You don't have to have any trees on your property that I can tell. God help me in other places if you try to take down a tree, but.
Palm Coast, I know that.
Is there an issue in the city with taking down a tree
If it's in
in a
a,
historic district? Ms. Walsh?
Our code specifies that a residentially zoned property is exempt from the tree preservation requirements.
Okay. All right. And that's a solution. The other one had to do with mold and mildew. I think they just wanted you to finish pressure washing the house to get that off of it. The big issues are going to be replacing these windows that are missing.
Yeah.
And then there's some rotten wood. Go show them back to rotten wood again, please. Right around the front of that roof soffit there in 3B. And these balustrades, that is going to require review by historic architectural review. Like I said, you're not going to find those. Those on the depot, those were handmade, and they're going to probably have to advise you of what would be appropriate. What time frame would he need to go through that?
We were giving him 90 days, so
Well, if he can get through that.
I'm not sure.
Mhm. What about the siding alone?
Well, Ms. Walsh can answer the question, how long it takes.
The next historic preservation board meeting is in July, but we've already passed by the deadline for that, so it wouldn't be heard until August at the earliest. I would also caution you, sir, that if you choose to replace the siding with non-wood siding, that will also have to go before the historic preservation board.
Does any of this require a permit? I mean, you need a architecture review permit for the balustrades. And
Repair and replacement,
yeah, and that left-hand support column is structural. Does that require a permit?
yes, it would.
Yes, sir.
So you'd have to have a building.
Yes,
Yes,
you have
sir.
to have a building.
How long is that going?
I would give that at least a month or two.
Okay. Go back to the photos again.
Yes, sir.
So that support column and the balustrade, it looks like most of the bottom of the balcony is rotted through. So looking at replacement with art, what's the proper, the architecture review board,
Historic Preservation Board.
HPB.
Yes, sir,
Right,
HPB.
got it with acronyms on it, HPB. Review of that. All right, next, go back. Show me some. That's still the balcony.
Yes, sir.
Now, this wood here in 1B, the side of the roof, the bottom of the window sash, and the flanks, it's like 1.5 horses of wood there. Is that required permit?
No, sir.
Replacement?
No, sir.
So, and HPB is not gonna look at that,
They would look at it
as long as it's wood.
as long as, yes, you're correct. They won't look at it as long as it's.
So you trust him until you find out he's not putting wood up. I'm not saying you do that, but. All right. So, is 90 days enough time?
We'll
We
go
don't-
120.
And we'll do 120 days according to the HPP board and see if they ask for more time, we'll give it the same.
Mr. Gonzalez, you got the floor, thank you.
Yes.
Tell me what else you'd like to hear.
Well, it's just that the ability to get siding that is milled in that manner is damn near impossible, sir. And the only source I might have for it, the house is being demoed around the corner from me. Already talked to the gentleman who owned it. I'm trying to make arrangements to acquire some of this siding that's possibly in good enough shape or the proper configuration to fit my house. The steps I've taken so far, just talking to him, he's in agreement. I've worked a deal with him, and he's happy and I'm happy. So that's what I've done as far as trying to acquire the stuff. I'm trying to get it off, obviously this weekend or next weekend, with some help with some people. I have a little trouble standing and walking tall. I'm disabled slightly.
Well, it looks to me like on your own, without having to get Ms. Walsh.
I'm going to interrupt you again, sir. The house that's being demoed, that the gentleman is speaking of, does not have an architect, does not have a review by the Historic Preservation Board for demolition at this time.
Would
So,
this have to be,
I'm sorry, sir?
would he have to have a review if he wanted to demolish the house?
Yes, he would.
What's the difference?
The
You said that-
difference,
You said that the house, and I couldn't make out what you said, the house,
the house that he is referring to
75% gone.
is in order to secure the wood that he's talking about is around the corner, and it had burned at some point in the past.
that wood is there.
The wood is there, but the house does not have
Ceiling,
an
no.
approval, a certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Preservation Board for demolition.
Oh, they did not get it.
They did not.
Okay, that's what I was concerned about. Okay, I understand. Yeah, they won't let you take it down without architectural review.
Well, now you get the stuff to fix it with. So it's a catch-22.
Well, it's not a catch
Yes, it
22,
is.
but it's a catch. And I wish I could tell you architectural review wasn't a thing, but it really is. And when you get some of these older cities, it's a lot. I was city attorney over in St. Augustine for 8 years full-time and over 30 years part-time. And I will tell you, you ain't seen nothing like you can get over there in terms of just what architectural review can do to your life. I mean, I'm talking about, you mean I can't buy a picket fence with staples in it? I have to use nails? Well, you know. And you ought to hear the reaction to that, but that's not here. What I'm looking at here is to fix that porch. It's basically going to require applying to the Historic Preservation Board to find out just what materials and appearance would be acceptable. Like I said, I don't know what it can be, what's even available for that in terms of making it. Because like I said, those were handmade probably 100 years ago.
That was built in 1900, sir.
Yeah, and so you're not gonna find those. The other wood you might be able to find, but they're gonna have to look at, preparing that, and you're gonna have to make an application to that. And,
Well, so that posted in rotten, it's mildew one.
well, the mildew,
Just black mildew, I've already looked at it.
well, on that,
Yeah. That big post, that's black mildew.
if you go out there and you mildew that, and then you call the city and say, I complied with fixing that part of it, and it's not really rotten wood, then
Yes,
you
sir.
should be okay.
It
The
stands.
balustrades are gonna be your problem. But that's gonna take architectural review. Demolishing the house, I mean, you know, hate to see you demolish a nice house in that neighborhood. But that's up to you and Harb is what's gonna happen. See what the alternatives are. But then the other thing is to get the vegetation done, repair the broken windows. Is the vegetation, the broken windows a problem?
Well, vegetation, the windows might be, the roof is, thin. And I don't know if they could walk on that thing and maybe not go through it.
Well,
That's an issue. I mean, I know what other did, maybe like plywood across there when someone's out there working, try to hold the plywood in place. Because I'm a little, concerned when you start walking on steel that's, like that. Plus it's slippery.
well, this is again a situation where that y'all are the property owners and there's certain obligations we owe being a property owner.
No, the people throwing rocks through the window didn't appreciate that one damn bit, I guess.
And the city, under the law, has the opportunity and the legal authority to come in and require certain types of work to be done on the house, to bring it in compliance with the code. We narrowed it down into the process today, and what it is a fairly straightforward statement of what needs to be done. There are some side roads you gotta take to get through historic review to get that porch fixed. I'm not hearing that you need any permits for anything else, except making sure that the siding is wood. That doesn't require a permit. They're giving you 120 days. I will tell you that it's going to take 2/3 of that at a minimum to get through architectural review. And if there's a violation here, the city's entitled to their order. And I want to make sure you have a fair number. If for any reason you're having difficulty, you make a good faith effort to get through architectural review. I can't speak for the city. Generally, that's what they're looking for, is a good faith effort to get something done.
Or starting this.
No. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We've eliminated the violation regarding Article 193, due to lack of notice. We're gonna find a violation of 30-42A, prohibiting conditions of public nuisance, overgrown grass and debris. Vegetation needs to be trimmed to
Already
no
done,
higher
sir.
than 8. One moment, I'm done. Vegetation needs to be trimmed no higher than 18 inches, or no vegetation just needs to be trimmed. The tree that's touching the house needs to have trimmed at least to the point where it's not touching the house. 30-169, building fronts inside the blank streets of public areas, mold and mildew, remaining mold and mildew just needs to be pressure washed. 30-169, building fronts inside rotten weakened wood, that will do the window sashes and about a 1.5 of wood underneath that one window sash, which needs to be replaced. Needs to be replaced with wood. Windows, looks like we've got 1, 2, 3 windows where the panes at least need to be replaced. Got 120 days, which will be in,
October 11th, sir. It's a Wednesday.
and at the next day, a fine of $25 a day per violation, or 4 violations could begin to accrue on the property. Need to make sure you stay in touch with code enforcement people regarding keeping them speed. I know you had some more comments. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, as far as the issue of putting the boat in the backyard, then anything accomplished, they cut to pieces and throw it back there.
And I would tell you, it's a problem that you're gonna have to.
Those I see for is probably because there's such an fence in front of it.
And that requires a permit itself. And you guys have to go through architectural review.
I've already got the fence up, it's a matter of extending the head rotted away.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you put up a fence in architectural, historic district.
No, it was fence up there, sir.
Architecture review.
There was a fence up there, sir, before I moved in 5 years ago.
Just letting you know what you're doing.
I'm just making you aware of the full facts, sir.
Right. You're gonna get a letter, to certified mail, at the address of record. And, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you for coming in.
Yes, sir.
The next case on the agenda would be case 2023-067-302 South 18th Street.
That gentleman not responded. You're just highly curious.
He is an intern.
An intern.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna go back to, 302.
Correct.
You possibly find me that bottle of water?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I would really appreciate a bottle of water. Whenever they serve their butter, you load with salt.
Hmm.
What are my chances? All right, this is case number 2023-067, property located at 302 South 18th Street. Where the owner of record is Principal Partners Group LLC. Have a mailing address of 11528 Winstead Road, Suite 1061, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33355. Good. Thank you, Chief. Very well. You get a green card back on these people?
The 10-day, but not the notice of hearing, sir.
Post,
Yes, sir.
do you have your affidavit posted?
Yes, sir.
Posted in the letter.
Yes, sir.
Any contact with anybody from Principal Partners?
No, sir, but I did get a telephone number today for a property manager and he hadn't returned my call yet.
All right, for the record, we have an alleged violation of Section 30-169, building fronts and sides of the street to public areas due to deteriorating, thank you. Deteriorating paint. And 30-169, building fronts and sides of the street to public areas, mold and mildew and structure, pretty straightforward. Is this in a residential district?
Yes, sir, residential.
Is it in a historic district?
No, sir, not stored.
Cautious the rules. South 18th is in between Brill and Twin.
Yes. Brill and St. John's pretty much.
What's the high school? Overgrove Street.
One street over.
All right, is anyone here representing Principal Partners Group LLC? Seeing here to one, green card was signed regarding the notice of violation, not the notice of meeting. You did post both. Is that
Yes.
correct? You have affidavits of posting and for both the notice of the meeting and the notice of the hearing, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, sir. This was first observed April 4th, 2023 of this year. This is case number 2023-067-302. Notice the hearing was sent May 23rd. Received a 10-day green card, but not the notice of hearing green card back. Complex posting was June 3rd and site posting was May 23rd.
Did you take the photographs you're about to present as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir, I did.
And do they accurately represent the condition of fault and building which you took?
Yes, sir, they do.
You proceed.
This photograph here was taken on April 4th, 2023. The arrows are pointing to where the paint is in deteriorating on the wood.
We say deteriorating, it's just flaking off or what?
It's just flaking off, and then some spots, it looks like they've been trying out different colors.
Experimentation.
Yes, sir.
So is it like gray on one column and
It's all
beige
between
on another?
beige, green, white, light gray, light green.
So. The way that code provision on the photo indicates, all exposed wood should be painted or stained or painted. Every part should be clean of graffiti, literature, or other debris. When surfaces were once painted or stained, or not more than 10% of the surface may be free of paint or stain. So if they basically need to repaint it,
Yes, sir. A fresh coat of paint.
what color?
It would have to be at least one of their choosing.
I'm sorry.
They could choose one color. It looks like they've been experimenting on what color they wanted to go with.
I'm picking at you a little bit on this one, but nobody gets to paint an architecturally different looking house in this town.
Some of them do.
Okay, I was just thinking, can you just have one color on, more than one color on them?
Some houses have more than one color. They have trim work and stuff. This one here just has a bunch of spots.
Okay.
Um,
Collected that you've got on the side of those, what is this, kind of a Florida vernacular looking house as well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but those columns are kind of distinctive for that style of architecture. And, but they're different colors. I'm pretty sure most of these buildings are white when they first built, but they might have some different color. Is there a color palette in Pulaski?
No,
That one.
there is no official color palette, except in the historic districts. They're required to be consistent with the period that the house was built and as per the Secretary of Interior standards.
That's not this.
This one is not in a historic district.
So pick a uniform color.
correct.
That's all they did is repainted a uniform color.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next.
And this is gonna be 1B. It was taken on June 2023. Kind of shows you a little bit of the wood on this left side here, just where it's faded. Where they just need to repaint the wood.
So that just needs to be painted again, a consistent color.
Yes, sir.
Is that the soffit of the roof on the left?
On this, yes, it's the other part. It's all wood. It's kind of hard to see in that photo.
So is that the side of the house? Or the
Yes, sir. This
edge of
is,
the roof?
you're looking at the front, and then where that arrow is kind of back, it's the side of the road you can see from the roadway, South 18th Street.
And I understand that. I'm just looking at, so on the arrow center left,
Eric, if you go
Yeah,
back
that
on
one.
the other 1A,
that just needs.
see how it shows right there? That's all wood.
All that needs to be painted a consistent color.
Yes, sir.
And this one is the same issue.
Yes, sir.
This one being 1B.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, next.
And this here is going to be 2A. It was taken on April 4, 2023, mold and mildew on the corner of the house, on the left side of the house.
Will those gutters actually clean?
Most of them are clean. This is just what was left.
Okay. Very next.
And then this was taken on June 12th. It's pretty much the same shot. It just shows this part still is the only part left to get done with the mold and mildew. And that's it, sir. They fixed all the other.
All right, so we have two alleged violations of 130-159 building front and side, paint deteriorating. Just need to paint the inconsistent colors of the house, a constant uniform color.
Correct.
And then the 30-169 also mold and mildew, just, it's like mold and mildew just on the edge of the roof that you showed in this photo too big. correct?
Yes, sir.
How much time do you want to give them?
I was looking at 90 days, sir.
90 days and the
That is
September.
September 11th. sir.
September 11th? $25 a day per day for violation.
Yeah, 25 per violation would be $50 a day.
So there are two separate violations.
Yes, sir.
All right, last call for anyone representing Principal Partners Group LLC. Seeking hearing number on a finding violation of section 30-169 building fronts and sides, running streets of public areas, the street in question being South 18th Street, and inconsistent color paint that needs to be made consistent. And 30-169 building fronts and sides, running streets of public areas, mold and building structure, basically on the edge of the roof, on the gutter, and that needs to be cleaned. The property will have 90 days from today's date, ending on September 11th, 2023, to bring property into compliance, and if it is not compliant, fine of $25 a day per violation, 2 violations or $50 a day, will begin to approve the property. Okay, next case.
Next case will be number 5 on your agenda, case number 2023 055 314 Image Street, sir.
Property owner's record, oh, this is Ekaterina Valentinovna Bobostova. Is she present or anyone representing her? Okay. Seeing here no one, did we get a response to the certified mail?
No, so the 10-day compliance letter came, and then, the young lady that you just mentioned, she called and told,
She being
could,
the owner?
yes,
Hmm.
and said that she lives and moved to 314 Emmett, and the property appraiser said she lived at 314 Emmett. So that's when we mailed the notice of hearing, and that's when we did the posting.
All right, 314 Emmett is the official address on the property appraisal.
Yes.
Collector's rolls.
Yes,
And the postal service indicated on the certified mail return envelope that trying to sender vacant. Unable to force, so no one's living in the house?
not that I can see, sir, no.
Any contact with the owner at all?
Yes, sir. She came in and said that, when she called and said she lived at 314 Emmett. Because the first,
When
Cool.
was that?
when was that?
Yeah. Recently? or-
Yes. That was. 5/17/2023. That's when she came in and said she moved to 314. She moved from the address that she had in
So she came in on May
17.
17th,
I called, they called.
and you posted the property on May 30th.
Mhm.
Did you try to contact her with the new address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did she indicate what she was going to do about any of the issues you were in?
Said she was trying to sell it.
Is Emmett in a historic district?
Mhm.
South? South historic.
Yes, sir, South Street.
All right, got, violations, 30-169, building fronts and sides of like streets or public areas, mold and mildew. Also from 30-169, building fronts and sides of like streets or public areas, rotten and weakened wood. 30-215, unblighted, unsecured, abandoned structure registration, what is that? The 30-215 subsection A, after any owner of real property allows his or her property to become blighted, unsecured, or abandoned, as defined in this article, the owner shall register the property with the enforcement office. So this is not registering the property with the enforcement office.
Yes.
How does that work? I mean, what happens?
We're not,
If I decide I'm gonna abandon my property, I have to tell you I'm abandoning.
no. Sir. We're not,
That's a I've been trying to get things clear on what the violation is.
we're just worried about the unsecured part.
Well,
She needs to secure that hole that she has in the bottom of her house.
okay.
Look back. Mhm. Mhm.
The way this ordinance reads, if the property becomes blighted or abandoned, the owner must register the property with the city. and submit a plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what they have to do to bring it to compliance with the ordinance is to register the property with the city.
Yes, Mr. Brown, that is actually the way of reading,
I know, I think the way this reads, the way he was trying to explain this, he's trying to get him to cure an unsecured injury,
Yes, sir.
but that's not what this ordinance says. This ordinance says you register the property with the city. Submit a plan at a time. You don't have a code that says you can't have property accessible.
I haven't found it.
well, I'm confused with code that said the property is not.
Most codes include a provision that its property is accessible through an open doorway or window, it's unsecured.
That should be,
That's not what this.
That is section 3213, responsibilities of mortgage owners of vacant, blighted, unsecured, or abandoned structures.
Unsecured injury.
Yes, sir. I'll bring it up here so we can see it together, sir. It's on the screen.
Okay, again, 215 doesn't talk about anything with registering the property. Does anybody got different understanding?
no, sir.
Okay. So, you know. Just an interesting ordinance,
Yes, sir.
but I'm not sure the cure is going to be secure the injuries. The cure is register the property, and then eventually get a plan, and then you eventually get a lien, but. Right. Then you have, building fronts and sides of muddy streets and public areas, paint deterioration. Street being. In the street.
Yes, sir.
And 30-169, building fronts and sides of muddy streets and public areas, missing decorative elements. All right, the 5 separate violations alleged. Please proceed.
Yes, sir.
And the record shows, references to each of the cited code provisions.
Yes, sir. The first is Order 314/2023. The note hearing was sent out 5/30/2023. No car burned. It says 3/23 complex posting, site posting 5/30/2023. This is a picture of the house. This is it's on Emmett and the side road is Laurel.
Did you take the photographs you're presenting as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
The photographs accurately represent the condition of property and data which you took.
Yes, sir. This is picture was taken 3/14/23 with the mold and mildew. This is the front of the house.
Okay. And that be cured with pressure washing?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
This is 1B 6/2023 with mold and mildew.
Is that different than the previous photograph?
Yes, sir.
Go back to the previous, so the different panel?
No, so it's the same panel, just different different angle.
Okay.
These are 3/14/2023. This is the front porch with the missing elements. This is 6/6/2023 2B, missing the same, well, different angle, missing elements.
Can you see these from Kirby Street or Emmett Street?
Yes, sir.
Where were you standing when you took these
In
photos?
front of the house.
On the sidewalk?
Emmett.
On Emmett Street?
Yes, sir. This is the paint deteriorating. This is the front of the house. The picture was taken 3/14/2023. This is picture 3. And this is 3B. This picture was taken 6/6/23. Paint deteriorating, standing in front of the house on Emmett Street. This is the porch with the rotten and weakened wood, 3/14/2023. Picture 4, standing on the sidewalk on Emmett Street.
So is that the porch floor?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell how much of it is rotten?
It's the whole porch. I just wanted to give them a close-up picture of the rotten roofing wood. This is, 54B, taking 6/6/2023.
Same dealing with the
Yes, sir, I just
missing,
typed.
missing balustrades on
No,
the
sir, yes,
railing
yes,
and rotten wood on the porch.
yes, sir.
4.
And this is the unsecured entry,
Okay,
and this is, 6/23, 5-year unsecured entry.
it's the same
Yes, sir.
area. Anything else?
No, sir.
So the violation would be the deteriorated structural elements in violation of 40-169A are the balustrades on the porch on the bottom floor, correct?
Yes, sir.
The mold and mildew is the fencing around the balcony on the second floor.
Yes, sir.
The paint deterioration is where,
It's along the porch.
is that the same as the mildew?
No, sir,
Okay, show me again the paint deterioration.
right now. But no, it's a molding mildew. Go down.
That's mold and mildew, but
Yes,
not
sir.
paint deterioration.
Right there.
Oh, there's a white trim
Yes, sir.
on the porch. So basically you need to paint the white trim
Yes, sir. Remove the deteriorating paint, give it a uniform color of paint.
and pressure wash the blue areas with the mold and mildew.
Yes, sir.
Fix the fencing, the balustrade, which is gonna have to go through architectural review.
Yes, sir. And, repair or replace the rotten wood on the porch.
Yeah. The secured entry, the ordinance cited says you need to register the house. You're sure you don't have, we didn't cite it, but you sure you don't have a code that says you can't? have-
Yes, sir. It's 30-13. Miss Aaron, put it up.
Yeah, but
But it's not on the-
they didn't get notice of that one.
No.
Sorry, we got 4 violations then. Last call for Ekaterina Valentinova Robustova. You can hear no one. We're gonna find it appropriate to enter an order finding violation of section 30-169 of City of Palatka Code, building fronts and sides of Lake Street to public areas due to mold and mildew on the fencing around the second floor of the balcony house. A violation of section 30-169 building fronts and sides of Lake Street to public areas due to rotten and weakened wood, that being the porch floor. The fourth floor on the first floor of the house. Section 30-169 building fronts and sides of Lake Street to public areas, paint deterioration on the trim around the fencing on the balcony on the second floor. And then building fronts and sides of Lake Street to public areas, missing decorative elements due to the balustrades on the fence around the porch on the first floor. Repair that which was required. Is it all of this have to go through architectural review, just the balustrades?
Repairs and replacements with the same or like materials can be done at a staff level approval.
Is that balustrade, you can find that, that's just like 2x4s. But
Right.
I don't think there's anything special about this.
No, but like I said, that's usually just, something like that would just be a staff approval. And
Very
it's-
good. How much time?
90 days.
90 days, $25 a day?
Per violation. 25 per, yes,
The respondent will have until 90 days until the end of business on September 11, 2023, to bring the property to compliance with four violations. In the event of non-compliance, $25 per day per violation will approve on September 12th. Okay, next case. I've got, it's like page 2023-94, property 121 Kirkland Street. Respondents are Janet Reed Pettit and Cynthia Susan Pettit as joint tenants with Whitish Partnership. Is Mr. Green?
Yes, sir. The top further served the 5/11/2023. The note hearing was sent out 5/30/2023. Green card, no complex posting 6/3/2023. Site posting 5/30/2023.
Are the respondents living in this house?
No, sir. They rent it out. They live on Emmett Street.
For Janet Reed Pettit or Susan, Cynthia Susan Pettit present, or even representing either of them present. Seeing here, no one, I see you did get a signed green card back
Oh, yeah, no, so here, green card did come back.
at the 418 Emmett Street.
Yes, sir. 418.
And that was for the notice of hearing and notice of violation.
Yes, sir.
Or did you get one back? Then one is unsigned.
It's the one that, might have been, voluntary compliance with the notice of hearing. It did come back. It's the one right after the tax collectors.
Did you post
Yes,
the
sir.
property for both the notice of hearing and notice of violation?
Yes, sir.
You have your affidavit to.
Yes.
All right, looks like you've alleged two violations, one of 30-169, building plus beside the way streets or public areas, rotten and weakened wood, rear and side walls deteriorating paint. This is a residential zoning district. Is it residential?
Yes, sir.
Is it historic?
Yes, sir.
This law indicates that it is in the South Historic District, I think. Okay. Please tell me what you have.
This is a picture from, the front of, Kirkland Street. This is on Kirkland Street, taking a picture in front of the house. Picture 1/5/10/2023, deteriorating paint. That's right by the front door, on the edge of the house, the right edge of the house.
All right, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 or so of those paints. I mean, what needs to be done there?
The deteriorating paint need to be removed and replaced with a uniform fresh coat of paint.
For the entire panel there, like
Yes.
the left, right of the window?
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to do that and make it uniform with the rest of the house?
I would,
Just curious.
I would paint it up. I
I mean, you get there, you put new, I mean.
I mean, if you put new stuff there after normal wear and tear, it'll kind of blend into itself.
Well, if you tell him you need to paint this a uniform color on that side, unless he matches the rest of the house, it's become another violation. And now it's not uniform to the rest of the house.
Well, the painting of the painting color of the house, well, it's a historical thing, so Ms. Watts might give you that. We don't control the paint of the house, like, as the conversation we had before, he can actually paint each side of the house a different color. But but he has to, since he already have certain paint established there, we just say, if he clean up the deterioration of it and then just paint an even coat of paint there, that'll suffice.
Historic review can say this is appropriate color.
Yeah.
In its original form. I don't know how old the paint of this house is, and stuff changes after a few years.
Yeah.
Now you gotta, so is that a violation of a non-uniform, I'm picking at you, but have to have a non-uniform color, it looks different on one side of that window than the other? You can see what's gonna happen next, some architectural maven is gonna come over and say, that looks terrible.
But now if you let's just say bone white, if you use bone white back in the '60s. Bone white in the 2000 might be a little different chemicals in it, so it might be a little different color, but if he got the same color, I wouldn't make it a violation on the code side. Now, Ms. Washington thinks I'm differently on the historical side.
Yeah, opinion.
Mhm.
All right, and I don't mean to be picky, but at the same time, when you think about it, you don't want to create another situation. Because the guys will come back and say, you told me it was okay.
And
Okay, thank you. What else we have?
This is, picture two.
Give the citizens for clarity.
Number two, decided to quit working.
Ms. Walker.
Sorry. See?
One B, this was taken 6/7/2023. There's a different angle, but
What color is this house?
I want to say light green.
Hard to tell from that, it's in the shadow. Okay, next.
This is the side of the house deteriorating paint. This picture is number 2, 5/10/2023.
Looking at the entire side of the house.
Yes, sir. This was taken from image on Kirkland Street. This is 2B. This picture was taken 6/7/2023.
It's the same side of the house.
Yes, sir. Taken
So
from,
essentially, the entire side of that house underneath the shingles
yes, sir.
needs to be repainted.
Yes, sir.
Next.
And this is the other side of the house. This is the left side of the house. I'm still on Kirkland Street. And this is picture 3, 5/10/2023.
Well, my previous question was probably premature, because looking at these photos, pretty much the whole house needs to be repainted. At least what you can see from Kirkland. Is this on a corner?
No, sir.
What's it called? Hammock Hall right there, the store, just past that toward the river.
You talking about the Hammock Hall of, yeah, that should be right. You know, what Hammock Hall is?
Yes.
We had one previously that was across.
It's across the street from you,
Yeah,
exactly.
the
across the
one,
street.
it's 2 blocks down to your right. That's what Hammond Hall is.
Down toward the river.
Yeah,
No, sir, going other direction.
well, the Hammock Hall is down toward the river, this is up,
I know where it is.
okay.
Trust me. I'll tell you the worst of it. Next.
This is 3B. This picture was taken 3/7/23, deteriorating paint. And I'm still standing on Kirkland Street. And this is the rotten and weakened wood. It's picture number 4, 5/10/2023. That's the upstairs porch.
So that definitely rotten, it needs to be replaced.
Yes, sir.
And that's the flooring of the porch.
Yes, sir. The whole porch needs to be replaced. I'm just showing you what a close up of what it looks like.
Are those balustrades rotten?
It looks like it, sir.
Well, what's it on?
Yes, sir. They're rotten.
So if I were, if I were to ask you, how do you know looking at it from the street they're rotten, what would you tell me?
I see no paint on it, and I can see black, and like wood deteriorating.
Well, that could mean they're unpainted and mildewy, but does that mean they're rotten?
I can see the wood deteriorating, and the black.
All right,
That's a closer picture of it. You see the wood deteriorating, some black and no paint.
I see no paint.
And see the wood to the right of it, arrow, you see it deteriorating. This is for picture 4B, 6/7/2023.
Okay.
And this is more we can rotten wood. This is
We're
picture
looking
5.
at
Sir,
the facade underneath the second story balcony floor.
yes, sir. And this picture taken 5/10/2023.
And this is on the side of the house?
Yes, sir, this is the
Left
right.
side of the house? that you're
Yes, sir,
looking at?
yes, sir, left side of the house. And this is 5B, taking 6/7/2023.
That's the same as the previous picture.
Yes, sir. And this is the right side bottom of the back of the house.
Back of the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The bottom, we can wood.
Can you see that from the street?
Yes, sir. Still standing on Kirkland. And this is 6B.
Same piece as the previous.
Yes, sir, just a different angle, and this picture was taken 6/7/2023. I think that's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Last call for Janet Reed Pettit or Cynthia Susan Pettit, or anyone representing either of them. All right. I see this thing's like a rooming house, It's like 4 mailboxes out there. Can they subdivide that or historic district? It's not a violation, it's not one of the. That's why it says 101. Now I know how I got to be 101. Probably her address.
The historic district is typically, almost all of it is zoned, R1. And before the zoning went into effect, some of these houses were cut up, like, for example, 314 and this one,
It predates his
yes.
your grandfather then.
Sort of, but if that multifamily use were to be discontinued or vacant for 6 months or longer, it would have to revert back to a single family residence. That is what happened with 314 Emmett last year. Investor purchased it thinking that they were going to do 4 units and had to go before the planning board for conditional use to do multifamily, and it was turned down.
So that use doesn't transfer with sale?
No, sir. It's continuously occupied.
All right, anything else, guys?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, based on the evidence and testimony presented, we're going to find appropriate to find violation of 30-169, that's the city code regarding legal fronts and signs for streets and public areas. To the right, and we can, this must be replaced. On the, coming again, the photos. Let's think we have it. Rod, these would be the flooring and the balustrade of the second story railing and the balcony. Floor and the balustrade. And then violation of section 170, rear and sidewalls deteriorating paint. And it looks like most of those walls will be painted for points. How many days?
About 90 days.
9 days. Respondents will have 90 days from today's day until the end of business, September 11, 2023, and property. If it is not compliant, $25 per day per violation. So minutes on September 12th. $50 a day total. All right. One more.
Last one, sir.
This is case number 2023-099, property 814 North 20th Street. Property owner Bedford Christie Paul R. Shepherd Jr.
Yes, sir. We have one
Green.
get on the April 3rd, 5/17/2023. No pin was sent out 5/30/23. Green card, no, complex post, but green card did come back. And then 6/20/23, posting and site posting was 5/30/2023. I'm taking the third violation of 3015, taking that one off because he wasn't wrong code.
He is he still with us? Yeah.
Yes, sir. He's up in New York.
Well, you got one green card signed,
Yes, sir, that was notice of hearing.
but you did not get one for the notice of the violation.
Yes, sir, I get the notice of hearing, that's when it came back. If, on the green card, if you look to the bottom and it says NOH, that means notice of hearing.
So we did post the property
Yes, sir.
with the notice and the notice of hearing and notice of violation.
Yes, sir.
And the other affidavit of posting in the record.
Yes, sir.
For alleged violations, 30-171, missing windows, 30-32A of the code, prohibited condition of public nuisances overgrown grass.
And that's what we're taking off. Taking
That
off.
would be removed.
Yes, sir.
Second, now being section 30-215, foreclosed blight unsecured abandoned structure registration.
That's once being removed, sir.
Sorry,
That's when it's being removed.
okay, I thought the grass was,
No, sir.
all right. Although number two, you said that one.
Yes.
1 and 2, 30-32A, prohibited condition of public nuisance overgrown grass remains. And the 30-215 is section 30-169, building fronts and sides of streets or public areas, the rot and weakened wood that can be seen from, it's like North 20th Street.
Yes, sir.
The address. And in contact with Mr. Shepherd.
Yes, sir. I spoke with him over the phone, a month ago. He said he's up in New York. And he didn't know the condition of the house, so, I took pictures of it with my cell phone and sent it to him. He replied with all, he said he would get down here as soon as he could.
And his address is 25494 County Road, County Route 16, Evans, Mills, New York, 3637. Right,
Yes, sir.
that's the official address of the property appraiser tax collector.
Yes, sir.
Seeing no one here in response. Please proceed.
This is picture one, taken 5/15/2023, standing on North 20th Street, rotten weakened wood.
We're looking at the soffit.
Yes, sir.
Through the roof.
Yes, sir.
This is just to this location.
Yes, sir.
And this is on the what side?
This is left side of the house.
As you can see from 20s.
Yes, sir.
Did you take all the photographs you're showing us today as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
Did the photographs accurately represent the condition of the property data which you took?
Yes, sir.
Please proceed.
This is 1B, still standing on North Trinity Street, taken on 6/2023.
Is this a different location?
No, sir.
Same location?
Yes, sir.
We're looking again the soffit under the roof.
Yes, sir. This is, picture number 2, 5/15/2020, when the picture was taken. This is the other side of the rotten weakened wood that you have on the left side.
Front of the house.
Yes, sir.
Toward the right of center.
No, this is the left and it's right of the first picture. And this is 2B, taken 6/6/23.
So this goes back into June. Oh, this is, okay. How long have you been in touch with the owner?
Last month,
Last week?
yes, sir.
So did you try to talk to him before you gave the notice?
When I see him, voluntary letter of compliance, he called me. And he said he didn't know the condition of the house. He was up in New York and stuff like that. So he asked me, could I send him some pictures of the house? And I did.
Next.
And this is the house. It has no windows. I'm standing on North Brooklyn Street. This is actually, I guess it's the side of the house. You could say the front of the house.
So there are 3 missing windows,
Yes, sir.
but this house is on a corner.
No, sir.
So that's the view from 20th Street.
Yes, sir. North 20th Street. This is 3B, taken 6/6/23, still missing windows.
If he at least boards those up and secures the
Yes, sir.
house, is that going to be enough?
Yes, sir. And this is a picture of the overgrown grass taken 5/15/2023, picture number 4. And this is the left side of the house. And this is another picture taken, it's 4B, taking 6623, again, taken from North Trinity Street, the left side of the house. These are more pictures of overgrown grass, taking 5, picture number 5, taking 5/15/2023 of the overgrown grass, and this is on the right side of the house. Taken on North Trinity. This is 5B, taken from Trinity Street, still the right side of the house on 6/6/2023. And this is irrelevant, this is on unsecured house. Front door is missing, and
All right, that needs to be secured.
yes, sir.
Yes.
That's concern.
Okay, that was it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Last call for Paul R. Shepherd Jr. or anyone representing Paul R. Shepherd Jr. Seeking here, no longer apply book to find violation of section 30-171 to the code due to missing windows, 3 missing windows on the front of the house at 16th and 20th Street. Section 30-32A prohibits the conditions of public nuisances other than grass which exceed 18 inches in height. And section 30-169, building fronts and sides of the streets of public areas, rotten and leaking wood, which need to be replaced. It's not in historic district. Okay, and none of this requires a permit.
Okay.
And how much time do we give?
90 days.
Order will have until the end of business on September 11th, 2023, 90 days from today, or bring property into account. Fine $25 per day for violation shall commence on September 12th, 2023 to that month. If you no further business before the special magistrate, we will conclude today.